Okay. Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about a celebration after the exhibition from the Museum of the City of New York. And I'm talking about the show that name is Saving Place. First, on that day we went to 3 exhibitions, and the first one is Saving Place, 50 years of the New York City landmarks, and the second is Power and Everything is Divine, and the third is Hip Hop Revolution. And I choose the first one to talk about. At first, you can see that although it was a small show, but I was amazed by these artworks. No matter the pictures or the hand-making models or the drafts they draw, that gives me a lot of thoughts, and reminds me that the problem that saving the place. So I want to talk about that a story that happened in China about saving the place, saving the Chinese landmark. Because as you can see, those artworks in that exhibition, that the government and the architects and the American people, they are trying their best to saving these old buildings and landmarks. And this is a picture that I took from the show. It says cities need old buildings so badly. It is probably impossible for bigger streets and districts to grow without them. And it was said by this woman, Jen Jackworth, which is an American Canadian and urban writer and activist. She wrote a book about the urban city of America.
Yeah, I follow this book.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a really important urbanologist.
Yeah. Yes. And then I want to. And maybe you guys, you definitely don't know this guy, and this is a character that I want to talk about in my story.
I know him.
Really? Okay. Because you're from Beijing. So this man, so this is information about this man. This man was born in 1951 and he is a Belgian, and he is an investment banker. And
do you know that?
actually now he started his own business. So before before he worked in New York as a banker, and he is quite interested about Chinese culture because he lives in New York. He always went to the Chinatown, and he was so fancy about Chinese culture. And after 1988, he traveled around in China for 6 months. And in 1994, he started his own business in Kunshan, China. And then he back New York to work a while. And that year, 2007, he found his mission in Beijing, China. So first, I want to show you these 3 pictures, and now I want to ask you a question. What's this building, and what is used for? You can guess.
Something like a mosque,
And
they are demolished.
Is it a residence? A house?
Yes, it's a residence of the old building. But can you guess what is it? What it's used for? I mean, the function of this building.
It's like the shed. It's like the shed.
No, actually it's not. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what's this building. Actually, it's a temple. And this temple is built in 8th century in Qing Dynasty, which was built by the Emperor Kangxi for the Buddhism. It's a Buddhism temple, and built for living Buddha, Zhangjia too. And it's beautiful because in that time that the Emperor Kangxi established a law that that the official religion of China is Buddhism. So that time this temple is quite famous and was quite famous, and a lot of people went there to visit the living Buddha Zhangjia too. And unfortunately, it was just broken in the 1949 because of the Cultural Revolution. And in the 1950s, a lot of factories just built in this temple, such as television factory and bicycle factory, and just a lot of factory built in this temple. And this temple is just was broken. And that day, so the man that I mentioned that was named wasn't yes, that Belgian man that his mission.
Go back to his page and let's figure out what his name was. Wassenhof. Yeah.
Wassenhof. Thank you. And that day, when he was bicycling around Hutongs in Beijing, he found this building. And at that time, he said, "I found my mission." And because of his fell in love with Chinese culture, and he's so fancy about the Chinese architectures, so he decided to repair this building. And this is what he did. First, he tries to remake the trace of the history. As you can see, the slogan from the Cultural Revolution, and he put away the rubbish and repaired the broken. And he renovate the ruined decorations in the temple. And actually, that's what he did. No, sorry. As you can see, he replaced the 70 pillars in the building, and he bought 80 cubic meters of wood and cleaned 40 trucks of rubbish, and repaired 1,400 square meters of plain font, and peeled 43,000 pieces of tiles. That's the job that he did, and cooperated with Chinese painter and other workers. And he used these two ways to repair this temple. First is find the available tingent from the building itself, and second is using the building materials similarly to the original, because he was trying to rebuild the building in same size and ratio. As you can see, this is a building that the temple that he repaired with his team. And 5 years later, we can see what happened to the building. It was gorgeous and beautiful, and he just respected to the history and remade the original old precious stuff, and as well as combine the Asian with modernism. And these artworks are from his friends, and they are artists. So as you can see, there are a lot of chairs and tables in this temple, because a part of this temple now is used as a restaurant for people can enjoy, and there's a small gallery in this temple. So this is Zhizhu Temple, and the UNESCO award the prize of the protecting the world cultural heritage in 2012 for this building. And actually, it's the first time that Beijing, China, won this prize. So all I want to say is that because old buildings, it's quite a shame for us Chinese people that we didn't protect and preserve our old buildings by ourselves, and it's just protected by a foreign person. So, and it's like the show that I took the picture that I took from the show. It's talk about why we should protect and preserve this building. It's like the past is not the property of historians. It is a public possession. It belongs to anyone who is aware of it, and it grows by being shared. So all I wanted to say is that people all over the world should think highly of the old buildings and try their best to protect them, because they are part of history and part of our public possession. So that's what I want to talk about. Thank you.